Hello again. Back at it again today. Today we're going to take another look at our John Deere LT150. That saga is not over, I hope. We'll see how we make out today. I went out the other day and I was going to move it, and I just kind of drove it over into a snow pile the day that I had it out there. Shut it off pretty quick and just let it go into the snow. So I went to move it. Of course, all ice around there and everything. I was just pushing it, and you know how that works. So I said, well, the heck with it. I don't see, probably not going to hurt it any worse than I already was. So I'll see if it starts. And it started right up, and it was quiet. So I drove it around here, and I brought it back inside. I said, well, so I got looking at it, and I found one thing and I noticed it as it started, and I was driving it around. There was a bunch of liquid coming out of the muffler, and it kind of came out over here. I mean, probably half a quart of stuff come out of the muffler. Those mufflers are, that big around, and it was just full. So I was like, well, that's kind of odd, strange, and curious. So I didn't run it just a couple minutes, and I just brought it in. And I got checking it, and the oil was way over full. And I had just changed the oil in this, and it takes 1.9 quarts. I think, and I always leave them a little bit low at first, and then I run them some, and then I level it off. So I probably put 1 3/4 quarts in it. Well, so I drained it, and it was all gasoline. And I got it here. I drained probably almost 3 quarts out of the crankcase, and if I added that to what was in the muffler, I mean, probably getting close to a gallon. And I had just put that oil in there, so it came from someplace. But it was gas. It was gasoline. It smelled gasoline. The oil was it was colored gasoline is what it amounted to. So pulled it off, and I got looking at it. I says, well, what's going to cause this? Okay, where does gasoline come from? Gasoline comes from the fuel tank, of course. It doesn't come from anywhere else. Where does it go? It's pumped into the carburetor. So I'm thinking, God, that carburetor, maybe the float valve or something, the needle in there, wasn't quite right, and it just, filled it. But then I got thinking, it was running too well. If it was doing that and going into the combustion chamber, I would think that number one, it would just run like crap, and it would eventually, number two, it would just foul out and quit. It didn't do that. It started banging and making noise, and it did start to smoke a little bit. Of course, with any of us that have been around, equipment or machines at all, when we hear bad noises, the first thing we do, shut them off. And that's what I did. So the next thing that I got thinking about, well, okay, so I don't think it was carburetor. Fuel pump. So I get looking, and it's a mechanical fuel pump on the side of the block on these. And so I got looking around, and it's a diaphragm type pump, plastic. It's a little plastic pump with a diaphragm in it, which I took off, and it comes apart. So I took it apart. The diaphragm in the fuel pump was bad. So, and I don't know how well I can pick it up. Here's the diaphragm here, but as you can see, I don't know. Well, I'm going to try to show you. As you can see, this diaphragm is just fungu. It's not good at all. It's kind of hard to show on the camera, but there's like a black mesh in there, and the rubber or whatever this is made of is pulled away, actually on both sides. And if you get it in the light just right, you can just see right through that mesh. So it's like, wow, I really think that's, as this tractor was running, It was keeping the float bowl of the carburetor full, and at the same time it was pumping a whole bunch of gas right into the crankcase. So, but now, why did it get so noisy and why did it smoke? Well, here's my theory. I'm kind of thinking that the noise was the crankcase itself had gotten so much gasoline in it, it was actually starting to hydrolock. And it was banging, and it was banging just like it had thrown a rod right through the side of it. But after that, you know, some of it kind of settled out, started back up, and it was quiet. So I'm hoping that's what it was, and it hasn't done any damage to it. And so I've got here, no, our carburetor did arrive as well. That's our carburetor in here. I'm not going to mess with that right now. I'm going to hang on to this carburetor because this carburetor actually will fit 4 tractors that I have here. So for the, what, 18 bucks or whatever that was, it's more than good to have. But we got this little pack today, which should be our new fuel pump. So there's a bag of goodies, bolts and gaskets, and a fuel pump. So here's our fuel pump. And there you have it. There's our fuel pump. You see, it's a regular, you know, diaphragm type pump driven off the thing. So I'm going to install this. I've got fresh filter, I've got fresh oil. I'm going to put this on, I'm going to fill it back up, we're going to start it, we're going to see what happens. Okay, so we have our new fuel pump bolted on. Like I say, it just bolts right on the side of the block. And we have fresh oil, clean filter, fresh filter. I'm thinking it should start fairly easily. The spark plug was dry, but the one thing that I did notice is this vent tube right here was real wet on the inside. So I'm thinking that's where our excess was actually getting into the combustion chamber and the smoke was coming from. So hopefully I'm right. I mean, it's kind of an experiment, but for, you know, 17 bucks and the price of 2 quarts of oil and a filter, I think it was worth it to give it a shot anyways. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We did everything we could. So anyways, here we go. Choke on. Ooh. A little smoky, but there's stuff everywhere, so. Gas in it, so Yeah, stuff's starting to burn off pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to shut it off, put some gas in, I'm going to take it outside and let it run. Alright, well, I'm going to cautiously say that we've turned our fail into a win. Head outside, it ran for well over an hour, full throttle. Had the mower running for a lot of the time, so it was load on it. And after no smoke or anything after it burned off everything that was in the muffler. And I don't know, seems okay. Brought it back in, checked the oil. The oil is perfectly full on the line, not anymore. So I think we may have, in fact, done a good thing. We'll see. The time will tell. We'll get it out and do some actual work with it. So, anyways, that's good. And interestingly enough, after I kind of found this the other day and I ordered that fuel pump, I did some searching around on the interwebs, and apparently this is somewhat of a problem with these Kohler engines. There was 2 or 3 articles that I found. It's exactly the same condition. I'm wondering, and I don't know, but I'm wondering if, you know, it was doing this and the previous owners just kept running it and just kept running it and just kept running it, and that's what in fact blew the head gasket on it. I don't know. I don't have any idea on that. But for now, we're going to say that we've done a good thing, and it appears to function fine. So we're going to leave it at that. We're going to work it a little bit, this summer, and we'll see what it does. If anything changes, report back. But for now, I'm going to sign off on a high note. Better than last time. So, as always, thanks to everybody for taking a look at what we do here. Be sure to punch the like button, subscribe if you haven't. We do all kinds of stuff like this. I will throw a little bit of a thing in there. We have been making some progress on our Sears Suburban. We'll be coming out with a video on that pretty shortly here. It's looking good. We're doing all right with that. So that'll be probably next on the agenda. I don't know. I've got to change the tires on this tractor off of another tractor that I've got, but unfortunately that tractor is pretty much iced in under the cover out there, so that may have to wait for a while. But that's okay. It's not time to use it anyways, so no worrying about that. So that's all the news that's fit to print from here. Like I say, thanks for looking in, and until the next time, as we always say, take it easy. Thanks.